Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, a couple of months ago, I dropped a video on Git and GitHub, and in that video, we did basic shell navigation. Now, I find out that basic shell navigation is one of the important topic if you want to, know how to navigate your shell, learn some of these commands, things like ls, print working directory, how to create folders from the terminal, and so on and so forth. So basically, if you want to know how to work with your terminal, either git bash, command prompt, cmd, or vs code terminal, so you need to learn what they call basic shell navigation. All right, so this is a topic in one of my videos on this channel. That's my Git and GitHub tutorial. But I kind of found out that when we were doing this Python bootcamp at Codeface Institute of Technology, basic shell navigation was one of the topics we went through as well. So going back to that video, which is my Git and GitHub video, I'm going to be cutting out the basic shell navigation part of the lecture. Then I'll upload it to this channel as a separate video on its own. So guys, if you wish to learn basic shell navigation, how to navigate, change from one directory to another, create directories, what's it called? Create files and everything from your shell, from your terminal. I think this is a video you need to watch, right? It's very educating and it's not long. It's not up to 30 minutes if I'm not mistaken. So I really encourage you to watch this video, guys. So thank you very much. Let's dive right into the video. So let's go over to a new window and search for Git. Just Git. Now, when you search for Git, this is what you get. Remember, I said Git and GitHub are two different things. Now, if I don't have Git installed on my system, I can't do any of the Git or GitHub commands. So please take note, we need to have Git installed. So to install Git, just go to Git, search for Git on Google, then click on this first link. I think it will direct you to the official website, which is gitscm.com. Now, if you want to download Git and Git Bash, you download based on your operating system. So when you click on the download, search for your particular operating system. I think I'm using Windows. When I click for Windows, I think that will be downloaded. If I could decide to choose if I want to download for 32 bits or 64 bits, etc. So after installing Git Bash, I don't think OBS will be able to capture this my desktop background or my desktop environment. So after installing, what you do is that you open the program. After opening the program, just to run it and install it on your computer. Then after doing all of those stuff, you will be able to get something like this. So when you open it, this is what you see. This is the Git Bash interface. Now that's for that. I've been able to explain how to download and install Git. Now, next on my slide, let's look at the differences between a GUI and a CLI. Now, it's very important to know the difference between a GUI and a CLI before going into any of these stuff. Now, when we say a GUI, the full meaning of GUI means graphic user interface. A GUI lets a user interact with the device or system with the help of graphical elements like windows, menu, icons, etc. Now, examples of GUIs that can be used for development are our text editors such as the VS Code, Atom, Bracket, and other IDEs like PyCharm and the rest of them, etc. Then on the other hand, the CLI means command line interface. Now, the CLI lets a user interact with their device or system with the help of various commands. Now, examples of CLIs are VS Code Terminal. I also have the command prompt or the CMD. There's also the Windows PowerShell. There's also Git Bash. And there are some other ones, I think Commander as well, that can be installed or downloaded. While GUI lets us interact by using graphics and all of that stuff. Like a GUI is very easy. Like when you open your computer for the very first time, you see those icons and desktop and windows and all of those stuff. Those are examples of GUI. The reason is because you are communicating with the computer by clicking on little graphical icons. I don't know if you understand. So also it is when you open your VS Code, you see an icon for file, an icon for folder, and all of those stuff. So those are examples of GUI. You interact with the computer by using graphics and all of those other stuff. While for a CLI, which stands for command line interface, you are interacting with the computer with or by the use of commands. So please take note of those stuff. So with this said, we already know that among a GUI and a CLI, GUI is way easier compared to a CLI. As I say, if I want to interact with my computer, all of the things we've been doing before now, those are GUIs you get. Because all you need to do is just to click on VS Code icon, your VS Code will open and all of those stuff. While for a CLI, we are using command. Next on my slide is basic shell navigation. Wow, this is getting interesting. I trust you might not want to miss this. Before I get into basic shell navigation, I want to talk about the different kinds of operating system we have. Now, for operating systems, there are majorly two operating systems, which are the Windows and the Unix operating system. Um, some people might decide to group this into three. They'll say Windows, Linux, and Mac operating system, and so on and so forth. Well, I could say the Linux and the Mac are under the Unix operating system. So if you are taking it into two groups, you can say Windows and Unix. While if you are taking it into three groups, you can say Windows, Linux, and Mac operating system. So why am I bringing this? Now, the reason is because an average Unix operating system user knows most of this command, how much more we that are developers. Because in our environment, we find out that we are mostly using the Windows operating system. So it's kind of difficult to learn this Unix command, or we might really not have the chance to learn this Unix command. And now this git bash makes use of the Unix operating system command. So let me put it that way. That's why I added basic shell navigation as a topic to this tutorial. So let's learn some of the basic shell commands. Okay, the first on my list is the pwd. So let's go back to git patch. So if you look at this stuff, it's very small. So if I want to make it big, you just use Control and plus. So that will be used to zoom in, and Control and minus will be used to zoom out. So let me make it big. So I think it's okay like this. So the first command on my list is pwd. Now pwd means print working directory. Now my working directory is in my C user slash admin. Okay, so that's the current part I'm in. Now it's kind of difficult because we are seeing something like admin desktop Mango 64. So from my PowerPoint slide, second command is ls. So when I do ls, it is used to view all of the folders and files I have inside of this current directory I'm in. So you can see I have the app data, application data, contacts, cookies, desktop, document downloads, and all of those things. Remember, if you are switching on your laptop for the first time, the I think the first place you encounter is the desktop. So in order for this to be way easier, I think we should cd means to change directory to desktop. So when I do this, this is what I will get. I will get this guy over here. So I'm now on my desktop. So how do I know I'm on my desktop? If I ls, yeah, I can see the things on my desktop. I have YouTube folder on my desktop, Amazon KDP folder, default track template, and the rest of them folder. One movies, new webcam projects, and the rest of them. So ls is used to list files. So if I want to clear my screen, I can use the clear. So that's for that. So there's what we call ls-le. So what ls-le does is that it brings all of the files and folders we have in this current directory and additional informations, things like when the folder has been created and all of those stuff. So please take note of this. So I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint slide and check what I have next again. So I've showed you guys pwd, ls, and cd. Remember I said cd is used to change directory. So let me show you something on the cd again. So if I go back to git bash, when I say cd, uh, dot cd space dot that will be used to leave a directory. So if I say clear, so we can say cd could mean change directory or current directory. So when I say ordinary cd, it will just give me the current place I'm in. But once I say cd desktop, it means change directory to desktop. Inside of my desktop, if I say cd and new, there's a new folder there, it will take me inside of that folder. So take note of that. So cd means change directory. But if I want to go out of that directory, what I will do is to say cd space dot. So that will be used to go out of the directory. So please take note of that. So let me clear my screen again. So now I'll go back to my PowerPoint slide. I think the next one I have is mkdir, which stands for make directory. Then rmdir stands for remove directory. So let's go back to git bash and practice this command. So if I want to create a new folder, take note, a folder is seen as a directory. I can do something like mkdir. Then I want this to be a new underscore folder. Now, if I should do something like this, it means I want to create two folder. I don't know if I get it. So in order for me to be on the safe side, I need to join them using an underscore or an hyphen. So this time I realized going with the underscore. The reason is because for most programming languages, the hyphen is seen as a minus, so I just prefer using the underscore to be on the safe side. So if I do something like this thing is being created successfully. So all I need to do in order for me to see this folder is to ls again. Remember, ls is to list all of the files and folder. Remember, this is the new folder we entered the other time. Then this is our folder, the one we just created. Let me just clear my screen. If I say cd and I say ne, but if I press tab, it will give me the first of its kind. That is to say, it will give me the first one that matched it. Let me just put it that way. So if I want to get my new folder, I need to say cd new underscore. So I cannot use tab. So it will give me this one. This is the one that is matching it now. So if I do this, I'm now inside the new folder. Or let me just say cd dot dot. I can decide to say cd new underscore folder as well. So please take note of that. So if I CLA arrow, now if I ls over here, I won't have anything. The reason is because this is an empty folder or an empty directory. So how do I create files inside of this? I can use the touch command, right? So I can make use of the touch command. But before I do that, I want to make another directory instead of this directory. So I can say mkdir, I'll say sub directory, right? So if I ls now, can you see what I'm getting? I'm getting the subdirectory. So remember, there's a command called rmdir, which stands for remove directory. So if I say rmdir, then this sub underscore dir is cty. So I've succeeded in removing this directory. By the time I ls again, it's no longer there. So if I clear my screen, okay, let me not clear the screen. If I mkdir again and I say okay sub, that's why. Remember the other time I said if I do something like mkdir and I say um let me say new directory. Remember, by doing something like this without joining with an underscore, it will create two directories. It will create new as a directory and dir as another directory. So by the time I do this and I ls, can you see what I'm getting? I have dir new and sub. So please take note of that. So I want to show you something. I think the next is supposed to be the touch command. Okay, CP and CV. Okay, all of this stuff. Okay, before we get to that side, let me talk about the touch. If I want to create a file, huh? That's when I'll make use of the touch command. So let me go back to okay. Now, if I clear my screen and I say something like touch index dot txt, let me just do it this way. Index dot txt, and I say touch text dot txt new dot txt. Remember, this is creating two files for me. So let me just add another one. Let me see index.html. By the time I do this, I've succeeded in creating three new files in addition to what I have before. So by the time I ls, this is what I'm getting. So if I want to see when these things are being created, I can say ls-la. So this is what I will get, February 28th and all of this stuff. So let me clear my screen. Then now I want to show you something. Remember, the rmdir command is used to remove a directory. So before I do that, let me ls. So if you look at this place, I'm having this dir as a directory, new as a directory, and sub as a directory. So I could decide to do something like this, rmdir, then the new. That one will be removed from there. So by the time I do ls, you can see it's no longer there. But I can't do this command, or I can't use this command on a file. By the time I say rmdir, then I say index.html, this is what I'm getting. It said fail to remove index.html is not a directory. So please take note that command can only work for directory. So how do we remove a file? If you want to remove a file, you say rm, then the file name index.html. So this is what we remove it. So by the time I ls, you can see index.html is no longer there. I'm now having index.txt, new.txt. So please take note. Why rm is used to remove a file, rmdir is used to remove a directory. So please take note of that. So let me pull up my PowerPoint slide and see what next I'm having. Now my PowerPoint slide, I've talked about the rm. What about rm-rf? So let me talk about that rm-rf. Now what the rm-rf does is used to remove a folder or a directory that has files in it. So let me go back and demonstrate this. So by the time I come back to my git bash, I can do something like clear my screen, then ls, right? So if I say rm-rf dir, now this is what we'll get. um ls, you can see that that one is no longer there, which is the dir directory. It's no longer there. um let's assume this is having files inside of it. Okay, this is what I will do. I will say cd sub, right? So I will say cd sub, right? So now what I want to do is that I want to create files inside of this. So if I do something like touch index.html, style.css, script.js. Let me just do this. So I've succeeded in creating three files inside of this. If I say ls, this is what I'm getting. So I want to clear my screen, right? Then ls. Remember, I'm inside of the sub directory. So all I need to do to go out of this is to cd dot dot, right? Then now if I say ls, this is what I'm getting. Now remember, rmdir is used to remove a directory. Now that's used for an empty directory. Let me just put it that way. So if the directory or the folder is having files in it, that's when I'll make use of the rm-rf. So if I try this command rmdir-sub, so if I do this, you can see failed to remove sub directory because the directory is not an empty one. I don't know if I getting my point. So if I ls, you can see if I cd inside of this sub and I ls, you can see that this is not an empty directory. So let me cd dot dot again, right? So this is where the power of rm-rf is. So if I say rm, let me demonstrate this again, rmdir-sub, you can see it's not an empty directory. But by the time I do something like rm-rf, then sub, and see what is happening. So it's been removed successfully. So by the time I ls, you can see that it's no longer there. So please take note of that. So let me clear my screen. So let's look at these other commands, cp, cv, and the rest of them. Let me go back to my PowerPoint slide. So I've talked about the rm, which is used to remove a file, then rm-rf to remove uh, a directory that contains files. So please take note of that. rmdir to remove an empty directory, mkdir make an empty directory. So let's talk about the cp and the mv. The cp is used to copy a file from one location to another, while the mv is used to move a file from one location to another. The mv is also used to rename a file as well. So let's go back to our git bash and let's demonstrate this. Now this is me on my git bash. The first thing I want to do is to ls. That's what we're having. Okay, remember we had three files before we left. um the next thing I'll do is that I'm going to create two directories in order to demonstrate this. So all I need to do is to say something like mkdir. Let me call these directories new and sub. So by the time I ls, you notice I'm having the new and the sub directory. So I'll cd into my new directory. So ls, there's nothing in it. I wanted to clear. Now before we go real quick, you can use the up arrow key to go back to your previous command, as well as the down arrow key to come to go forward. So please take note of that. So I will say touch. I want to create two files. I will say new dot txt. I will say new file dot txt. So I've created two files in here. By the time I ls, you notice that I'm having two files here. So I'm going to cd dot dot. Take note of the space. If you don't put the space, it won't work. So if I say cd, I see that it's not working. So please take note of that. So let me clear my screen. Cd into my sub. Remember the sub, there's nothing on it yet. So all I need to do is to see touch. I'll say sub.txt. I'll say sub underscore file.txt. So please take note of that. Now, if I ls, you can see that I'm having two files here. Now, the reason I brought the idea of going back and forth in time is because there are some commands I've typed already. So typing it out would be kind of difficult and time consuming. So I'll just make use of my up arrow key to go back in time. So please take note of that. Remember, let's talk about the mv first. I said the mv can be used to rename a file, right? So if I say mv sub.txt and I said something like new sub.txt. By the time I do this and ls, you notice that there's no sub.txt again. I'm only having new sub.txt. So I've succeeded in renaming the file. So please take note of that. So I'm going to go back in time again. So I want to take it back from new sub to sub, right? So I think I prefer using that sub. So let me just say new underscore sub to sub. So by the time I ls, I've succeeded in renaming it back. So if I clear my screen, what I'm going to do now is that I want to let me ls again. I want to copy this sub.txt to, okay, I'm making use of the mv command rather. I want to move this sub.txt into the new folder. Let me do that. So remember, pwd is used to print working directory, right? So by the time you want to do any of those copy or move functionality, what you do is that you need a complete directory or the file path of that particular file. So please take note of that. You can call it file URL as well. Please take note. So I'm in my C users admin desktop new folder sub. Please take note of that. So what I want to do is that I want to move sub.txt into another file, right? So I'll do something like mv, then I'll say /c/users. Okay, let me just type it out. Let me just type it admin /desktop, right? /new underscore folder /subfolder /sub.txt. So please, this is the correct file part of this, or this is the full file part of this sub.txt file. Then I want to paste it inside of C/users/admin/desktop, right? Then /new folder slash new. So this is what I will do. So by the time I run this command, you can see that it ran successfully. Now remember, I'm using the mv and I say the mv is used to move, so it means this sub.txt will no longer be here. So if I ls, and this is what I'm having only sub file, so the sub.txt is no longer here. So by the time I cd dot dot and I cd into the new ls, this is what I'm having new.txt, new file.txt, sub.txt. So please take note of that. So let me clear my screen. Now, like I said, I want to show you the cp command. Remember, I said the cp is used to copy. Let me just use that way. So if I want to copy any file from this directory to, remember, I'm in my new directory. If I want to copy any of these files here, let me ls. Let me say I want to copy the new file.txt to the sub folder or the subdirectory. So I can just do something like go back in time, right? So this is it. So there's no need for us typing this out again. So by the time I come back, remember, I'm inside of my new, right? So let me just change this guy to new, then come back to, let me say new.txt. Remember, I want to make use of my cp command, not the mv. Remember, cp is used to copy, mv is used to move, right? So please take note of that. So if I want to take this down to my sub, this is what I will get. By the time I ls, you notice that I still have what I'm having here, the new.txt, new file.txt, and the sub.txt. But by the time I cd dot dot, right, and I cd into my subdirectory and I ls, this is what I'm getting. Now I've succeeded in copying that file that was in my new, which is this new.txt. I've succeeded in copying it here. So you can see that it's inside my subdirectory and it's also inside of my new directory. So please take note of that. So that's pretty much that about that. Sorry, I want to clear my screen. Now, let me go back to my PowerPoint slide. We've succeeded in looking at all of these commands. So let's look at the cat command and the echo. I didn't add echo to my. So let's look at the cat command. Now, what the cat command is used for? The cat command is used to display the content I'm having on the file, right? Now, Please take note, these are not all of the commands. There are some commands I'm going to be writing now. I think the echo command, and I didn't add it here. So let me go back to my git bash. Let me talk about the echo and the cat command. Now, what the echo command is used for, the echo command is used to write in a file or write to a file. Let me put it that way. So by the time I do something like ls, if you look at this place, I'm having new.txt and subfile.txt. If I say something like echo greater than, and I do something like this, sorry, echo new file text, right, greater than new.txt. Now, if I ls, you notice I'm still having the new.txt and the subfile.txt. So by the time I do something like cat new.txt, what the cat command is doing is that it will display the content of that file. You can see I have new file text, which was what I wrote inside of the file. So please take note. So echo command is used to write in a file. Now please take note, this command, right? This command over here, what it's doing is that it's recreating this and replacing the previous one I have there. Now, how do I know that? So if I do something like echo, right, and I say new file text again, right, and I say greater than new.txt, watch what I will get. If I do this and I ls, remember I'm still having both of those guys, right? So if I by the time I say cat new.txt, notice I'm having new file text again. So my previous text is gone, you get. So what this guy is doing is that it's overwriting what is there and creating a new file. So let me just put it that way. So what does this mean? It means that I can use this command to create a new file as well as writing to the new file. So let me just do something like this. So if I come back here and I say, okay, I don't want this to be new text, I want it to be new text file. Let me just do something like this. So if you notice, this will create new text file and also write new file text again inside of it. So let me do something like this. So if I clear my screen and I ls, this is what I'm getting. So by the time I say cat new underscore text file dot txt, right, you can see what I'm getting. So please take note of that. So by the time I do something like cat new dot txt, see what I'm getting. Now, with this said, how do I now write inside a file that already has content in it? As you say, how do I append text to a file? So if you want to append text to a file, instead of you to say echo new text again appended, let me just do something like, instead of you to do something like this, new.txt, because if I do something like this, it will overwrite what was there, right, and like recreating the file again. So instead of me to do this, I'm supposed to use two of this symbol, two greater than symbol. So by the time I do this, now this will be appended into the file. So by the time I do cat new.txt, right, can you see what I'm having? So please take note of that. So if I want more, let me just go back in time and say something like appended again. So if I do this and I cut this is what I will get. So please take note of that. So by the time I clear my screen, right, this is what I will get. Now git bash or these terminals or these CLIs, they normally come with some text editor, things like Vim, Emacs, and the rest of them. I'm well aware of Vim. So if I want to open Vim, so if I ls and I want to open Vim, I can say vim new.txt, right? So this is me on the Vim editor. Now the first thing I will do is that let me move my cursor using my arrow key so you can see what is happening. I don't think I can type inside of this. Um, oh, now this text editor um is not like our regular text editor and the rest of them. Some of these buttons means some things. Okay, so I think there was a time I studied this text editor and the rest of them. So please take note of that. That's why and see what is happening. So some of these things mean something. Now, again, I've mistakenly pressed the insert command. So you can't be able to type unless you press I. Okay, so if I escape and try to type, you can see what is happening. Okay, so I've pressed I again. So that's why I'm not able to type. So let me escape this, right? So I want to add more text to this. So what will happen is this. If I press enter, you can see it's not working. So if I press I will go into insert mode so I can press enter, it will work, right? So I'll come down, I'll see text added through Vim text editor, right? I can say new text added again, right? So please take note of this stuff. So now what will happen is this. I want to come back and let me just clean all of this. I think I wrote new text again, appended again. I think that was what I had before. So in order for me to demonstrate the all other commands, I think I need to add more text to this. So let me just say line one. Let me say line one. Let me say line two, line three, right? Line four, line five, line six, line seven, line 8, line 9, line 10. So let me just leave this. I think this is more than 10 lines now. So what will happen is this: after writing in your Vim text editor, the next thing to do is to escape, right? So after escaping, how do you save this text? You use something like column W to write. It means to write to a file. As to say all of this new text will be written to this file. But now I want to write and quote, so I will do something like column WQ, right? So by the time I press enter and I press cat new.txt, now this is what I will get. I have all of this new text added to it, so please take note of that. If I want to add another text, I can simply use my echo, right? Then I will say another text, right? Now say greater than new.txt. Remember, if I just use a single greater than, what will happen? It will override all of the text I have there. So please take note of that. So by the time I do this, I clear my screen and I go back in time and do this. You see what I'm having? So please take note of that. So let me pull up my PowerPoint slide and let's see what I have next. So I have the more or the less command. So please take note of that. Now the more or less command, I think they pretty much do the same thing. So let me just go back to my git bash and try it. So this is me on my git bash. I can do something like more, um, more new.txt, right? So it's a more command, not found. I think when I did my study on this, I think this is not recognized in Git bash or so whatsoever. But if I use the less command, lex new.txt, I think it will open what I'm having here. So please take note of this. So please take note of this. So let me just column WQ, right? So if I cut new.txt, I think I'm still having everything intact. So please take note of that. So let's just look at the two last command and uh, let's see. Now I have the head and the tail. Like as the name implies, the head command is used to show the beginning of a file and the tail is used to show the end of a file. So please take note of that. Now if I go back to my git bash, the reason I added more lines to, or the reason I added more text to my um file was because I want to demonstrate the head and tail command. Now the head, like I said, is used to give the start of a file, which is the first 10 line by default, right? So please take note of that. So if I do something like clear and I say head new.txt, let's see what we get. You can see I'm having the first 10 lines. So this is line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So please take note of that. So if I say something like tail new.txt, I will have the last 10 lines. So please take note: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So please take note of that. So that's pretty much is about that. Now with these commands, I believe we've been able to learn and understand a little bit of the share navigation. So please take note of them. They are not that difficult. It's best to learn them by practice and all of this stuff. So please take note of them. So thanks very much, guys. I hope to see you next time. And feel free to stick around. I'll be releasing more videos. Thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate it.